Yo, what's poppin', world of boxing? It's been confirmed now, WBA, IBF, WBC welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr., 28-0, 22 knockouts, has confirmed that the Terence Crawford fight will happen. He put out a tweet, he said, "It's happening next, it's all you need to know." What we do know is that Errol Spence and Al Heyman, that whole side, is getting a lot of backlash, saying that Errol Spence is ducking Terence Crawford. There's so many stipulation issues and the politics that has been preventing this fight the past 5 years from happening. If you're really into boxing, been paying attention to Spence and Crawford, both are in the top 5 pound for pound on many people's lists. Terence Crawford now being a 4-division world champ, and that stopped all his opponents at welterweight. And then Spence obviously should be on everyone's pound for pound list, what he's been able to do post his car accident. Still making way at welterweight, holding 3 of the 4 titles. Terence Crawford holding the WBO. We need the undisputed fight. The funny thing is with this fight is that it's so long overdue that both Terence Crawford and Errol Spence don't want to do interviews at this moment. When you see both guys in other arenas and going to other fights, they're not doing interviews anymore. Even when Crawford went to Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis's fight in Newark, he was like, "Yeah, you can ask me any question, just don't ask me about my fight." I feel like with Crawford is a very sensitive subject as it pertains to his career and what he's had to go through with Top Rank and eventually suing Bob Arum for racial bias. Other than that, Terence Crawford's last few fights, specifically his last fight against Sean Porter, is extremely impressive. Can make an argument he has the best skills in counterpunching in boxing. And simply is going to take a special fighter, a.k.a. Spence, the only fighter in and around his weight class, I think, that can beat Terence Crawford. Even though both guys may not care to fight each other, obviously they're both accomplished, both wealthy and financially set for life, but the boxing world knows that both guys need this fight for their legacy to secure that #1 pound for pound spot and be the current undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Now, what we do know is that this fight is going to be on Showtime pay-per-view. Terence Crawford is the free agent. Spence has had a phenomenal pay-per-view run as well. Whether we want to talk about Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia or even his last fight with Ugas. Honestly, both guys are a draw. And when the fight happens, when the fight is signed, it's going to be Dallas versus Omaha, Nebraska. It's the mega fight both guys have been looking for. I hope Terence Crawford gets a fair shake in the deal. And we don't know the details, but I hope it's a 50-50 split. And the great thing about this is the fans win. Sources show that there is going to be a rematch clause for both guys, which is definitely a treat. I'll be the first to say this. Both guys are definitely going to move up after this undisputed fight. Errol Spence has been making this way his whole career. Terence Crawford would have nobody to fight. I've always said that after Danny Garcia moved up to 154. By the way, he looked good against Jose Benavidez. There's Jermell Charlo at 154. He's undisputed. Both guys, in Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, have said that they would be down for undisputed fight at 154 to move up for a lot of money. So we'll see what happens. As of late, Errol Spence has been really irritated with the backlash on social media. He's even been tweeting back and forth with lightweight prospect Keyshawn Davis, 5-0. He's a terrific fighter. And even though Keyshawn Davis has been buzzing in the Errol Spence camp, there's a guy named Frank Martin who's also in the lightweight division. A prospect, great skills, same coach as Errol Spence. I think what Keyshawn Davis was upset about was Errol Spence had tweeted out after Shakur Stevenson fought that, good sharp stuff in the ring. Keyshawn Davis was on that co-main card, and Errol Spence didn't say nothing about Keyshawn Davis' performance. But the following Saturday, Errol Spence fighter Frank Martin had fought and said, and Errol Spence had tweeted, "Frank Martin is really like that" on Twitter. Keyshawn Davis quoted and said, "Terence Crawford is really like that." And Errol Spence replied, Errol was like, "Terence is. What you think I was going to say something different?" And he was like, "Keyshawn, you're not on our radar right now. Keep working." And then Keyshawn was like, "I respect that, champ." And then later, Errol's been tweeting back out to Keyshawn, "I don't need to lie to you. I don't throw shade. Your little cheerleading ASS going to be heartbroken when I put that boy in the dirt." So it's a lot going back and forth. We know the rivalry between Top Rank and Showtime fighters. They be going back and forth all the time, so this is nothing new. Now, many of the boxing historians have been comparing this fight to the old school Hearns-Hagler fight, and it's definitely the current version of that. Both guys are undefeated. Stylistically, anyone could get knocked out. Spence being the bigger fighter, the southpaw, great jab, great defense, very fundamental, with the skills. Terence Crawford being the smaller fighter coming up, but he's actually really filled himself into the welterweight division. He looks strong. He's got a good chin. He's long, and he's really just been annihilating guys at the welterweight division. When Errol Spence fought Sean Porter, it was a really close fight. You see right there with the WBC. All those belts Errol Spence earned. I've been following Spence for a minute. 2017, when he went to Kell Brook's backyard for that IBF title, I thought that was amazing. Ended up stopping Kell Brook with just brute force. Sean Porter, a very close fight, ended up dropping him in round 12, and then his last fight, beating Ugas, decisively stopping him. I think round 8 was it. I mean, come on, post his car accident, which he almost lost his life. He beat Danny Garcia and Eudenis Ugas. That says a lot about his determination and discipline to get his body back right and to get the job done. Other than Boots Ennis, who's the contender, I think is going to be a several division world champ, and I think the future face of boxing. Before Jerron Boots Ennis, Terence Crawford has been the boogeyman in boxing, period. The sad thing is Terence Crawford just turned 35, and he just got, his test against Sean Porter. Before that, he's been very accomplished. He's beat, the gatekeepers and Amir Khan and Kell Brook. I don't want to discredit his win against Jeff Horn. He earned that belt, that WBO strap. But he doesn't quite have the resume and the timing of fighting the fighters when Errol Spence did, therefore making the Errol Spence resume slightly better. But you got to be special to become 4-division world champ and coming up undisputed at junior welterweight and champion at lightweight. He's taken no punishment in the sport, which is very rare for somebody at 35. Both of these fighters are first ballot Hall of Fame, easy. They both could retire right now and be set for life, but the fans are not going to let this one off the hook. We need to see the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Now, just a prediction of how this fight is going to go. You honestly can make a case for either guys. Terence Crawford, he has the ability to stop Errol Spence and exploit some weaknesses. Same with Errol Spence to Terence Crawford. Now, they call Spence the big fish. His pressure, it'll be interesting to see how Terence Crawford can adjust to that. Spence is going to go to the body. He's going to throw a gazillion punches. Even what Danny Garcia said, Spence is a middleweight in a welterweight's body. Crawford's got the skills and awkward punches, so it makes for a terrific fight. Now, they're trying to confirm a deal for November 19th. My calendar is open for that. Put in the comment section who you think is going to win and how you guys assess this fight. Thank y'all for watching Free Blues Boxing. Hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell for unlimited boxing content. Until next time.